All right, team, welcome back to another episode on the Weight Loss for Women 40 Plus podcast. Now, today we're talking about something very simple. We're talking about steps. We're talking about walking. Now, you've probably heard from some wellness influencer, trainer, coach, personal trainer, your friend down the road, that you need to walk 10,000 steps per day to see some sort of fat loss. Yeah, gosh, people are so silly sometimes. What happens if you have a sedentary job though? What happens if you have a very active job? Let's say you're in childcare, kids at daycare, parents drop their kids off and you've got to look after the kids. You've got to keep them entertained. You got to make sure that they're exercised. You got to make sure, you're walking around the playground. They're all safe. They're all doing good. Now, what if you get up 10,000 steps just at work? Does that mean you have to do another 10,000 steps? What about the person who's an office worker? And they get out of bed, they have breakfast, they walk to their car, they drive the car to work, they park in the car park, they take the elevator up, and they sit at their desk for 8 hours a day. Now that person might only get up 1,000 steps in a day. So does that mean that person has to do 9,000 steps to lose weight? The problem with binary numbers is that there's no flexibility for different people's lifestyles and different people's time available. So the childcare worker, technically speaking, who's hit 10,000 steps at work, they come home, they would have to do nothing in that situation. Whereas the office worker would now have to do 9,000 steps in a day. That might take them a good 60 minutes to get up 9,000 steps. Now for me, I can walk about 1,000 steps in 7 minutes. So 9 times 7, 7, 7 is 49, 56, 63. So yeah, that would be roughly an hour's walking to do 9,000 steps. You like that? Quick maths. I was always good at the 7 times table. 7 sevens are 49. The rest of them? Debatable. Okay. So there's no rule that one size fits all. Now me personally, as a coach, I'm sitting at about 102 kilograms. I've got a 6-pack. I'm in great shape. I only do 5,000 steps a day. My target is I set myself a minimum. I'm not a big fan of setting big, audacious targets and goals because if you don't hit them, you get disappointed. So I like to set minimum and targets. So I like to set a minimum target and then a target that I like to hit. So now I've got a range between X and Y that I would like to hit. So for me, my steps, 7,000 for me is pretty awesome for the day. But if I at least get in 5,000, I feel like I've done a really good job. So that for me is perfect. Now for you, it might be a little bit different because there's different factors that come into play. If you're in a calorie deficit and you work out a lot and you only get 2,000 steps a day and you're losing weight, bingo, you don't have to do much more than that. You're doing really well. Well done. Now, if you're doing 2,000 steps a day and you're not losing weight, then you might have to do some more steps. Maybe you're not doing some exercise. So if you're eating really healthy, you're like, Josh, but I eat I fast, I eat healthy, I cut the processed food out, I don't drink soft drink, but I only do 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day. I don't work out and I'm not losing weight. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm like, well, it's pretty fucking simple. You're not burning enough calories in the day to actually elicit some weight loss. Even though 80% of the goal, 80% of fat loss is going to come from your food and it's going to come from your sleep, leaving 20% to exercise and walking. Even though that is the case, if you don't get the 20%, if you don't do some sort of movement, you can't eat, you'd have to eat so little food to get some sort of progress that your metabolism would actually shut down. So there is such thing as eating too little for weight loss. You can't just eat no food and see no weight loss. Now, technically, if I dropped out into the desert for 7 days and you didn't have food for 7 days, yes, you would lose weight. But that's not the fucking scenario that everybody's in. We live in the real world where there's easy access to food. So maybe some days you eat more, some days you eat less. The average across the week is probably a little bit higher than it should be. So this is why it's not about eating healthy. This is why it's not about going to a gym. This is why it's not about going and doing 10,000 steps per day. It is honestly about what your daily activity looks like. So yes, you've got to eat good food, eat in a calorie deficit, but if you're not moving enough to elicit a calorie deficit, then it doesn't matter how clean you eat or how organic the food is, you ain't going to lose weight. And that's the sad truth. Now, some people are doing too much exercise. They eat far too little. They do 10,000 steps a day and they're working out 4 times a week. And for that person, it might be too much. So I'm sorry, but there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all approach. The idea is if you're eating 3 meals a day with protein, at least 30 grams of protein, not 30 grams of chicken. Remember, chicken is a protein source. Protein sources contain around 25% protein. So if you're going to have 30 grams of pure protein in a meal, you'd need to have like 120 grams of chicken or 100 to 120 grams of beef or fish or turkey. It doesn't matter. You catch my drift. I've done other podcasts on this. Go back and have a look on why 100 grams of chicken is not 100 grams of protein. Anyway, you might have worked that out from what I just said there. So if you're eating 3 meals a day, at least 100 gram protein for the day, 100 grams of protein, pure protein, and you're not losing weight and you're sleeping pretty good, then you ain't moving enough. That's simple. You're like, well, I do work out 3 times a week. I'm like, cool. What do you do every other day? What are you doing every single day? Are you walking? Oh no, we'll only do about 2,000 to 3,000 steps per day on average. Okay, you, my friend, are probably not moving enough. Now, I'm not sitting there across from you one-on-one, so I can't ask you the specific questions to get the specific answers, but you're catching my drift. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Some people have very active jobs, some people have very sedentary jobs. So you can't give those two people the exact same prescription of exercise. The person that's very active might be a labourer. Maybe they work outside. Maybe they do gardening. Maybe they're a landscaper. They would do far more activity than the sedentary person. So that means they could get away with doing less activity outside of their job. Yes, it does count. It's not the same as doing a half an hour workout, but the calories that you burn across the day do count. Remember, at the end of the day, in a 24-hour period, were you or were you not in a calorie deficit will dictate whether you see progress. Because you don't just wake up at the end of the 7 days, no weight loss, no weight loss, no weight loss, boom, you lost a kilogram. It doesn't work like that. You are losing or gaining or staying the same with your weight every single day. So to lose a kilogram in a week, you'd have to lose like 130, 7, 14, 21. Yeah, you'd have to lose like 130 grams per day to lose a kilogram per week. So if you're not in a calorie deficit every single day, you're going to find it very difficult to lose a kilogram in a week. So if you're absolutely stuck on this and you're like, man, I just don't know, Josh, I'm really uncertain, then maybe it's time to book a call. Maybe it's time to jump on, reach out to us and talk to someone who actually gets it. There's a reason why ladies are struggling with their weight for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years before they see us. And then they become clients and they lose 1/2 to 2.5 kilograms in the first week. They're knocking out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kilograms in the first month. Our ladies are killing it because they have the right coaching. Remember, just because you put in effort does not mean you're going to see results. Effort does not equal results in life. Just because you try really hard to study and you get an F, well, why? Why does effort not equal results? Well, if you try really hard in study and you get an F and you fail the exam, was it because you didn't try hard? Was it because you didn't put in effort? No, of course not. But it's maybe you put the effort in the wrong thing. Imagine you're studying for a maths exam, but you read a biology textbook. You study the biology textbook, you know it back to front, you do it for 6 months, you sit in the maths exam and you shit the bed. It's not because you didn't try hard. It is not because you didn't put in effort. It's because you put your effort in the wrong direction. No different if I run a 100-meter race, but if I run the wrong way, well, it doesn't matter how fast I ran 100 meters. I had to ride the wrong way. Coaching is the direction. We've got to pair your effort with the direction of the coach to get the result. That's how it is. That's how it will always be if you're not seeing progress in an area. Don't feel bad. You weren't born with the knowledge. You may not just figure it out on your own. You might need a little bit of a push. Maybe just need a little bit of direction. No different to me. When I sucked at speaking and communication, I hired someone to help me out. When I sucked at Marketing for our company, I hired someone to help me out. When I had relationship problems, I saw someone and they helped us out. Simple as that. You hire someone to help solve the problem. You're either going to pay in time trying to figure out yourself and you may not get there, or you're going to pay in money and you're going to get there very quickly. Choose one. You can't have both. Here's one or the other. All right, so to get in touch, it's very simple. Hit me up on Instagram, on Facebook, Josh Humphries, BlissBodyU. If you see my ads, click on the ads, hit learn more, start a conversation with the team. We'll book in a call, we'll have a chat, we'll see if we can help you out. And if we can, amazing. If we can't, we'll point you in the right direction. All right, lots of love. I will see you in the next one. Actually, whilst I got you, leave a review. If you feel like this is helpful, share this with a friend. Go, hey, I've got this podcast that you might get some benefit from. This guy talks shit every day, every couple of days about weight loss, coaching, fat loss, nutrition, exercise, mindset, all the good stuff. And if you're loving this, leave a review. Nice and simple. Whatever you're on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find this, leave a review. If you think it's helpful, it's going to help us, help more ladies. There's a lot of ladies struggling with their weight, and I do not want you to be one of them. All right, lots of love. I'm signing out this time for real. I'll catch you in the next one.